Hello, this is Tyler, and I'm going to be reviewing Dororo. Dororo is a manga that was created over 50 years ago by Osamu Tezuka. Osamu Tezuka is basically the godfather of manga, or a god of manga even. So yeah, he's a pretty big deal. And this is an anime adaptation, a recent one made in 2019, from his manga series from 50 years ago. Osamu Tezuka is also known for mangas such as Astro Boy, Kimba the White Lion, and Blackjack, just to name a few. And I mean like a few, like a very small number, but those are like some he's more known for. So yeah, I'm going to be reviewing the 2019 series based off of a manga from 50 years ago. Hope you enjoy, and here we go. Okay, so to start out, we have a woman giving birth. This woman is the wife of the lord of the country, or at least a specific part of the country, named Daigo. We do not know the mother's name, or the woman's name, whatever. But she is the wife of a man named Daigo. And pretty much immediately, we see a flashback that Daigo has. And in this flashback, it shows him going to a place known as the Hall of Hell. Yep, that's what it's called. It's called the Hall of Hell. And when he gets there, he runs into a monk. He tries to stop Daigo from doing what he is attempting to do. Because Daigo has basically lost his faith in Buddha and in the gods. However, when he attempts to do so, he gets sliced straight up the back. Yep, blood everywhere. He gets cut up good. He does, however, thank Daigo for doing this, as the priest states that he basically agrees with Daigo that the world is in turmoil and it's not getting better, and that their faith in Buddha is not working, but he's happy that he was killed with his faith in Buddha before he actually lost it. So, silver linings. So then we see Daigo making a deal with demons. He states that his land has been through repeated famines and epidemics causing deaths throughout his land, and that he will give anything that he has in order for the demons to grant him his desire of becoming the lord of the country, and giving his land like the power and the prosperity to continue on. In response, a lightning strike strikes Daigo, and causing the X mark that we see on his forehead, as well as the entire Hall of Hell. I'm going to keep saying it like that. We then cut back to the woman who has given birth to a baby boy. And then the baby gets struck by the same lightning that struck Daigo. I don't think that's a good thing. Something tells me that's not supposed to happen. And then, yeah, the baby was just born, but this was not a good day for that baby. Not a good day at all. He was born with no eyes, no nose, no ears, no skin. And if we're going by the synopsis, and I probably pronounced that word completely wrong, of the manga, he also does not have any organs. They don't actually state that here, but if we go by the manga synopsis and assume that they are going to follow it to that extent, then yeah, he also does not have any organs here. And yeah, though he is alive. Dun, dun, dun. Daigo sees this, and he immediately recognizes that this child is basically the demon's answer to his bargain, that the country will now be okay because of this. And he gives the child to the midwife to take away. The mother attempts to stop him, but he does not let her. He claims that the baby will die anyways, and that there's just no point in even trying to raise him, and that he just might as well have not even existed. The mother argues that he should at least pass away in her arms, but he doesn't let her, and the old woman takes the baby away. Another thing that was struck by the lightning was a Buddha statue. This is important later, so I just felt like I will mention it now. Well, it's relevant, I guess I should say. We then see another shot of the Hall of Hell. And yes, I just kind of want to say it again before we get to the opening. Now, I'm not going to play the opening or anything like that because, copyright. But I will show some screenshots from the opening. The song is amazing. The art is beautiful, and I really recommend checking it out. The opening theme is called Ka'en. Not really sure if I'm pronouncing that. It's performed by Queen Bee. But yeah, it is a beautiful opening, and I really recommend it. Recommend checking it out. I recommend the entire anime, of course, but these are just some screenshots from it. But yeah, good opening. I'm not focusing on the opening a lot because music is not my strong suit. I can identify good music from bad music, but that's about it. I can't tell you what type of instrumentals are being used or keys or era specific or anything like that. I'm just not adapt to that kind of stuff. I can identify good music from bad music. That's about it. But yeah, even with my low senses of music, it's really good. But after the opening, we get to the title card, which is the Story of Daigo, which I kind of think is a little misleading because Daigo basically only appears from, what we just seen of Daigo is pretty much all we see of Daigo until, the end. So I don't really know why it's called the Story of Daigo, but whatever, that's what they called it. After title card, we cut back to the old lady with the infant. And the old lady is about to drown the baby. She, however, takes pity on it, feeling the baby's desire to live. She takes pity on it, and she puts it in a boat or a canoe or whatever it is. It's not a canoe. It's like a little rowboat fucking canoe. She puts it in a rowboat, and she just shoves it off going down the stream. And she leaves it up to the baby's luck. If the baby survives or not, it will be purely up to the baby's luck. And, well, that was her good deed for the day. Let's see how she's rewarded. By being eaten. So remember, if you help a baby, you will get eaten by a demon. That is right. So yeah, she gets eaten. As the demon is chowing down, we then see an old blind man with a lute, which is probably, since we're in Japan in this anime, damn it, what's that called? A biwa, I believe is what they're called. Basically, it's a lute. It's just different, a little different, like Japanese lute. So yeah, we get an old man with a lute. So the demon has another meal, or so we think, because it turns out that the old man is a badass. And he can freaking, and he has I shouldn't cuss, crap. He has a lute sword, okay? He pulls a sword out of his lute. The lute is the sheath and the neck part of the lute. He just pulls up and it becomes a fucking sword. And I said it again. God damn it. And it is awesome. Old dude is badass. So, I don't know if we're going for the blind samurai or anything here, but he's fucking awesome. Or at least his weapon is, because we don't really know much about this guy yet. All we know is that he has a lute, which becomes a fucking sword. Or he pulls a sword out of it. He does notice the child, or he notices the aura of the child more accurately, because he can see auras And he knows that the child. He notes that the child is not really human, but it's not a demon or a ghoul or anything like that either. And it's some sort of curse. And he just kind of lets the child go. And that's really all we see of the old guy in this particular episode. I'm sure he'll come up again because I don't know any other reason why they would just introduce this random old guy and just never show him again, especially since he has a fucking sword and his biwa or loot or whatever. But after that, we skip 16 years into the future. Or forward. Saying into the future makes it sound like we time traveled. But we skip 16 years later, and we see two men, a monk and a doctor who puts prosthetics on the dead. The doctor states that what he's doing is simply because the prosthetics are failures, like they can't be used for like actual living people, and he just feels like it's a waste to just kind of throw them out, and that's why he does that. The doctor is called Jukai, and we didn't get the name of the monk. I don't even know if he's relevant. He might have just been there to kind of point out Jukai to us, to the audience, to kind of point out what he does. That's probably his only purpose here. He might be relevant later. I don't think so. We then cut to a figure walking in the woods. After that, we see a young boy by the name of Dororo, who is selling a bunch of wares, like a bunch of objects. Like he's like a street merchant. That's the word I'm looking for. Pausing here. When I first went into Dororo, I honestly thought that our main character, or the infant that the story is revolving around, was Dororo. But apparently that's not the case, because this kid is definitely way younger than 16. And his skin looks pretty real to me. Considering the prosthetics that we have seen, his skin looks pretty real. So yeah, this is not the same. This is not like an older version of the skinless child, or the bone, or the, not bone, he has bones, but the faceless child, or whatever you want to call him. But back to Dororo here. Dororo is probably the person that we, as the audience, are going to view the story through. That's probably why he is the title character. He could also have a significant role later on. I honestly don't know. And to confess, I've actually never read the Dororo manga. I've heard about it, and I know about a lot of the stuff created by the mangaka. But I've never actually read any of them. Manga has never been my strong suit. Well, never been something I've been particularly interested in. I like manga, but I like anime more. So I've always been more inclined to watch anime than read manga. And when I found out this came out, I really wanted to watch it, but I felt like reading the manga wouldn't do me any good. I felt like I'd rather experience firsthand through the anime. I might go back later and read the manga if I can find it all. I mean, it was a series created 52 years ago, so I don't know how possible that'll be. But yeah, I honestly don't know what Dororo's role completely is, or who any of these characters really are. This is my first experience with it. But my guess is that Dororo is probably the character that we as the audience will view the story from for the most part. And that's probably why he is the title character. Now, as for the name Dororo, I actually do know this one. Dororo is basically like a child pronunciation of the word Dobro. Dobro is the pronunciation of thief. Well, it's how you say thief in Japan, I should say. So Dororo is like the mispronunciation of that, kind of like how a kid would pronounce it. So that's how the name Dororo is. Well, that's like what the name Dororo is. Yeah. Anyways, back to the review. Dororo is then confronted by a group of men who are the actual merchants of the wares that he is trying to sell. They look more like bandits to me, but as we'll find out by the end of this, it won't really matter what they are. So, a confrontation between the two goes about, and Dororo ends up getting chased and ends up throwing horse shit in the bandits' faces. Eventually, however, he is caught, and the bandits attempt to drown him. We once again see our mysterious samurai, who is looking off into the distance. At first, the bandits think that he is trying to confront them for trying to drown a small child, but they realize that he is not paying any attention to them, and is instead paying attention to something off in the distance, which is nothing but a pile of garbage. So clearly, this guy finds interest in a lot of things. Maybe he sees some treasure in there, I don't know. But yeah, he just sees a pile of garbage and stares at it. Well, until the guard becomes a fucking monster and eats the bandits. And it's a demon monk. Yep, that's right. This monster is basically a fucking demon monk. It eats all 3 bandits, like I said. But if they're bandits or merchants, doesn't matter. They're gone. Who cares? And tries to eat Dororo next. However, our mysterious samurai pulls a sword out of his arm. Okay, pulling the sword out of the loot earlier. Okay, that was pretty cool. It's pretty badass. But this dude pulled a sword out of his fucking arm. I mean, he just pulled his arm off. I mean, okay, clearly he has a prosthetic arm. So, but he still pulled a sword out of his arm. Like, okay, when they created this manga, anime, whatever, were they like, you know what? Sheaths are boring. Let's figure out how many things we can fit a sword into instead of using a sheath. A loot? Awesome. How about a fucking arm? Put it right in there. So anyways, our prosthetic samurai saves Dororo and then confronts the demon muck, as I am going to call it. But when he's confronted on the top of the bridge, he ends up pulling a sword out of his other arm. Pulls a sword out of his other arm. Earlier in the series, we actually see him with a sword, like at his hip. So this dude technically has 3 swords. So I'm assuming in the original manga 50 years ago, that's how it worked too. So I'm kind of wondering if this whole 3 sword style, Santeriu, I probably pronounced that wrong, but this whole 3 sword style thing, if Rono Zoro from fucking One Piece was inspired by it at all. There's even a scene later on, I don't think I have the clip, because I put the clips on beforehand, but I don't think I have the clip, but there's a scene, I'm saying clip, but you know what I mean, like the screenshot, but there's a scene where he's holding one in his mouth, okay? You can't tell me that Rono fucking Zoro from One Piece wasn't inspired by that shit, unless if the anime did it first and it wasn't actually done in the original manga, in which case, in reverse, that he'd got that for fucking Rono Zoro. But no, back to what I was saying. He pulled the fucking sword out of his freaking arm. Now, of course, prosthetic arm is a prosthetic arm, but still, he pulls it out of his arm. And then he cuts the shit out of Demon Muck. He doesn't really fight. We don't really get, like, it's awesome. It's epic, but it's not really a fight. It's, like, cool animation. But he's, like, running from this demon muck, and he, like, does flips and shit, and he's cutting down the bridge, like, his whole entire way through why he's running away from this thing. And in the end, it pays off as the bridge collapses, and the demon muck is no more. Dororo witnessed all of this. He didn't, like, run away scared or anything like that, and he doesn't get freaked out by the fact that, you know, this prosthetic samurai seems to be all prosthetics. And he notes that his face, his eyes, and ears are all fake as well. Now, I'm pretty sure we have all guessed already that this dude is definitely the child from 16 years ago, the one born with no face or skin or anything like that. This is the same dude. So clearly he got prosthetics sometime between those 16 years, and he is now a fucking samurai, which is awesome. However, as Dororo is talking, the prosthetic samurai starts to freak out, and his face, was prosthetic face, falls off, and revealing the fact that he has no face underneath, and it's just muscle tissue. And then almost immediately, a real face grows in. Oh my god, amazing! The demon that he just defeated was one of the demons that his father made a deal with, that Daigo made a deal with, in order to get his power. Now that he defeated it, he got his face back. Now, this is not actually explained in the anime, but it is explained in the synopsis of the anime. Well, technically the manga of the anime that the anime is based off of, but still, whatever. So yeah, we can clearly see that is what is happening here. That because he defeated the demon, he got part of his body back. Now, he still has a prosthetic nose and prosthetic ears and eyes, but the face itself is his actual face. We then go to Daigo. See, pretty much the whole entire thing without Daigo. But it's the story of Daigo, but he's not in it. Anyways, we do cut back to Daigo, and we see a lightning strike similar to the lightning strike that we saw 16 years ago. And he goes to investigate at the Hall of Hell, and sees that one of the demonic statues has been split into two, symbolizing its defeat, obviously. We then cut to a boy named Tahomaru, who is the second son of Daigo and his wife. Like I said, she was never named. I don't know her name. But he is the second son. Well, as far as this child knows, he probably thinks he's the only son, but he is the second son of Daigo and his wife. We see that his wife is in fact the same woman. Like, she didn't leave him or anything like that. I would have, because he's kind of a dick. But no, she's still with him, and she is the mother of this child as well. But she has not forgot her first child, and she still keeps the headless Buddha as sort of a remembrance of this child. She might keep it for other reasons as well, but as far as we know, it's basically to remember her child. We then see Jukai again, putting a prosthetic face on a dead man who had his brains, I was going to say shot out, but that's probably not accurate. Since we're in feudal Japan, I think we're in feudal Japan, we're probably using a lot of swords. So he probably had his head sliced off or some shit. And yeah, his brains are just spilled out everywhere. It looks lovely. Now, Jukin says the name Hayakimaru. I think it's safe to assume that Jukin is probably the man who gave our prosthetic samurai his prosthetics, and that the name he is saying here is probably the name of the prosthetic samurai. I doubt it's the name of this random warrior here, though I guess Hayakimaru could be this brainless guy here. Maybe next episode would be Tales of the Brainless Man. Could be. Never know. I mean, we're following the story of a boy that was born with no eyes, ears, nose, skin, or anything like that. So, or arms and legs. I did not mention that earlier. He also does not have arms and legs. So that is very important. Though, we just went through all this and he had prosthetic arms and shit. So I'm pretty sure you figured that out. But I mentioned it, okay? You can't say I didn't. But yeah. Hayakimaru is either our prosthetic samurai, or we're going to know the stories and miscellaneous adventures of random headless dude, or brainless dude, whatever. Which sounds fun. But no, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Hayakimaru is in fact our protagonist. We cut back to Dororo, and he is, of course, understandably freaked out about the experience he just had. You know, seeing someone's face just grow, and he's like wondering what our samurai is, like if he's even human. Our last shot is of the samurai, who, once again, I am pretty sure is going to be called Hayakimaru. I just don't want to call him that if that's not the case. But he is closing his eyes, something he would not have been able to do before with a prosthetic face, because he would not have had eyelids to close or to control. And we go to the ending. The ending is also very pretty. It's done in a drawing-like style, like a sketch drawing-like style. I like the opening a lot better, but the ending's pretty good too. And just like with the opening, I'm just basically going to show like little screenshots. And the very end, the very last thing seen is our muck monster, but it appears it's like a little card with the muck monster on it. But it appears that he has been given a name, which is Daiki. I like Monk Monster better, but Daiki. Or Monk Demon. What did I call him? I can't remember. Whatever I called him, I like it better. No, Daiki's okay. He's dead. So, yeah. And that would be it for this review. Well, I say review, but really it's more of a recap. But honestly, if you watch reviews, pretty much what it is. But that's pretty much it. I thought it was awesome. It was amazing. Loved the animation. It reminded me a little bit of Ghibli, honestly. Maybe not fully, but a little bit. It was really good. Really like the action scenes and the characters. Can't wait for the next episode, and I'm definitely reviewing it. So get used to this. Well, that's all I got. See you when I see you. Bye.